Welcome to today's special program sponsored by AARP New Mexico, featuring events and topics of interest to the 50-plus community. I'm Judy Henry, an AARP volunteer in Santa Fe, and I'm happy to be here with Sarah Noss, the Executive Director of Santa Fe Conservation Trust. Sarah is a Santa Fe native with experience at many local nonprofits, including the Farmers Market and Kitchen Angels. We are here to talk about and introduce you to the wonderful program that Santa Fe Conservation Trust has developed called Vamonos, which is a citywide program of guided walks. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Judy. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I was just talking about you. We're here to talk about and introduce the public to the wonderful program that Santa Fe Conservation Trust has developed called Vamonos, which is a citywide program of guided walks to encourage folks to get outside and walk. This fits very well with AARP New Mexico month-long theme of wellness. I would like to begin by stating the obvious. Walking is one of the easiest and best exercise activities in the world. It's also one of the easiest to start. Walking has no need for gyms, no need for exercise equipment, no real need for new shoes or clothes. Also, walking is one exercise which is enhanced by doing it with other people. Allow me to read a little bit about the benefits of walking from the Santa Fe Conservation Trust page and the National Institute of Health page. Let's see where it is. Why walk? Regular exercise is one of the best things you can do for your health. Walking can provide numerous benefits by helping manage your weight, lower your blood pressure and cholesterol, strengthen your bones and muscles, protect against chronic disease, and much more. In addition to the benefits of walking, studies have shown that being outside in nature can boost your immune system, improve your mood, and lower stress. Walking, even a little bit to start, and working up to 30 minutes to an hour several times a week is all it takes to start improving your sleep, circulation, support your joint health, and decrease your risk of developing serious health issues. The NIH says staying active can help you keep and improve your strength so you can stay independent, have more energy to do the things you want to do, and reduce fatigue, improve your balance, and lower risk of falls and injuries from falls. Manage and prevent some diseases like arthritis, heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, sleep better at home, reduce levels of stress and anxiety, reach or maintain a healthy weight, and reduce risk of excessive weight gain, and control your blood pressure. Physical activity can help reduce feelings of depression and stress, while improving your mood and overall emotional well-being, increase your energy level, and improve sleep, and empower you to feel more in control. One of my encounters with Vamonos happened 2 years ago as I was walking the river trail. I met a group of folks from Brookdale, aka Ponce de Leon, who were being guided by Vamonos volunteers. Some were walking briskly, others had canes, and a few were being guided by wheelchairs, all with smiles on their faces, looking around at the trees and the flowers with such pleasure. I knew that the value they got from that walk was exactly what Vamonos is all about. I am delighted to share cyberspace with Sarah and would love to hear Sarah talk about the program she started.
Well, thank you. That was a great introduction about why we should all be walking more. And, during the pandemic where we're all working at home, I have found that I pretty much roll out of bed and then roll over to my office and spend the day at my office, and then the day is over. And I don't get as much exercise as I need to. And, just being sedentary is really not good for us. I think today in the paper, in fact, it said you have a 59% greater death rate if you're sitting around all day. So everything that you said about improving public health is true about walking, and all you need is a decent pair of shoes. So we started, well, let me just tell you a little bit about where I'm from and why we're doing this. The Santa Fe Conservation Trust is a land trust, and we were started in 1993 when there was the threat of development behind St. John's College in the foothills. And Dale Ball was our first executive director back then. And if you know your trails around Santa Fe, you know that the Dale Ball trails are pretty famous. There's 35 miles of trails up in the foothills on the north and east side of town. And so in addition to being a land trust, which protects open space and wildlife, rivers, watersheds, open space, scenic views all around Santa Fe and in a 3-county area, we also kind of became a trails organization. So we had a hand in the development of about 75 miles of trails in and around Santa Fe. Dale Ball, Atalaya Trail, La Piedra that connects us up to the mountains, the La Tierra trails, Arroyo Hondo open space and trails, all of those, the rail trail from Santa Fe to Lamy, all of those efforts were things that we were involved with to either help procure the trail easement or actually use volunteers to install the trails. So we have kind of a focus on trails and protecting land here for the last 28 years. But a couple of years ago, we were talking about how first off, not everybody knows where the trails are in Santa Fe. The people that live on the east side near the trailheads know where they are, but a lot of people in other parts of town don't even know they exist. And that we also have about 30 miles of really beautiful ADA accessible trails around our parks all over town. And knowing that there are lots of people who can't get out on the dirt trails as easily, obviously those who have, who are in wheelchairs or on walkers. There's a lot of people that are afraid to walk alone, and people who just don't really know where to walk, where is a safe place to walk. And so we decided in 2018 to create Vamonos Santa Fe Walks, which was focused primarily on that target audience, people who were underserved in terms of getting out into nature, people who maybe didn't have the transportation to get to the trailheads, our elders, the infirm. We just wanted to be sure that there was equitable access to nature for everybody in our community. And nature doesn't necessarily have to be out in the forests. It can be right here in town. And many of our parks are just beautiful, shady areas with these beautiful level paved trails around them. So with a little bit of kind of wondering if this was going to work, we started Vamonos. But to do so, we wanted to get the input and the support of a bunch of people. And luckily, that's on my phone. So we started what's called the Santa Fe Walk-in Collaborative. AARP is a member. The city of Santa Fe joined. Councilors Villarreal and Sig Lindell sponsored a resolution to get the city to support Vamonos, which helps us to utilize the parks and everything. La Familia Medical Center has been a longtime partner. Big Brothers Big Sisters, the Department of Health, Brookdale. All of these wonderful organizations have been coming together almost monthly to meet with us to put this program together. And so what does it do? Well, they're basically 1-hour walks after work. They've expanded a little bit to include a Saturday outing, because a lot of people that we walked with said, well, we actually do want to learn about the dirt trails, so take us up to the dirt trails. So Saturdays are dirt trail explorations, and the other walks are these 1-hour after work walks on the ADA accessible trails here in Santa Fe. So how did it go? Well, in 2018, we had about 320 walkers who walked with us. And the walks are May through October. In 2018, we had 7 of them a month. This year, we're going to have probably about 5 a month. In 2019, we had over 550 walkers. So we found that, in fact, there are a lot of people who really want to have people to walk with, who don't want to walk alone, and maybe who don't know where to walk. And so the Vamonos walks show them about an hour route around the parks and in different parts of town that maybe you don't know about. And we go out and we take a walk, and we walk together and we get to know each other. We learn about each other. Sometimes people show up to all the walks, and it's really great because then we all become friends. But as Judy said, the byproduct of just taking a walk, as often as you can, is that it really does improve your health. Santa Fe's obesity rate is, I think as of 2019, they said that 54% of surveyed adults in Santa Fe County were obese or overweight. And obesity leads to a wide range of health problems. So, yeah, somebody says down there, motion is lotion, and that's so dang true. So obesity is, associated with a higher risk of chronic diseases, and arthritis, as you probably know, is one of the leading causes of disability in New Mexico. So when you can get moving, as the motion is lotion, it gets the fluids in your joints moving, and it really helps arthritic conditions. But it also, gets your heart pumping, lowers your cholesterol, does all sorts of things, lowers your blood pressure. But the main thing that I think we've gotten out of Vamonos is just how beautiful it is to build community on the trails by taking a walk with people and chatting with them as you go. And it's just, it kind of fills you up in a way that's kind of hard to explain. But just the opportunity to be together and walking. And of course, we couldn't do it last year. So we're going to start up a little bit slowly in May this year, because we're waiting on everybody to get vaccinated. But I think now that we're in the green, we can have groups of 20 or more who are socially distanced. So we're going to have walks in May, and we'll, continue to wear masks and stay socially distanced from each other. But we are going to get out starting in May. And the walks are going to go all the way through October. And, I think as the year progresses, it'll get easier and easier to be together out on the trails.
A question. Somebody had a question about, is Vamonos the same as a meetup?
It's not really a meetup, although it kind of is.
It's not a meetup.
You don't have to be, wanting to meet up or anything, but mostly what we found are there are people who don't know where to walk and maybe don't want to walk alone. And if you fall in that category, you should come walk with us.
So how do they find out about it? And like a meetup is on, it has its own website and everything. So how do they find out about it?
We have our schedule, and it's on our website at sfct.org/Vamonos/. And you'll find that they start on May 18th, and they're going to go all the way through October 23rd. They're going to include, May is going to be a little bit mellow as we kind of gear up, but they're going to include Saturday walks where we'll introduce you to places and that maybe you don't know about because you've never been on the dirt trails. We're going to take some people out to the La Tierra trails, for example, for Take a Kid Hiking Day in June. And the La Tierra trails are amazing. There's miles and miles of trails out there with tons of parking. So if you haven't been out there, hopefully you'll get there.
And may I ask how you register? Do you register for them, or you just show up, or how do you get there? Do you have to go, you drive to the place?
All you got to do is get there and show up. In the last couple of years, we had a registration, but it didn't seem like people registered and they just showed up. And so what we do is we have volunteers to walk with us. We always have a sweep so that we don't lose anybody. It's not competitive. We don't try to walk like super fast. If there are faster people, there's volunteers to go off faster. If there are people that need to sit down and rest, we have volunteers at the end, to sit down with people. And then when we come back, we'll pick them up again. But they're very mellow, fun walks. And if you can get there, then just, we'll be there with our Vamonos t-shirts on, and you can join us on the walk.
And what time do the afternoon walks? You say most of them are after work. I wasn't aware of that. I thought there were some in the middle of the day too, but after work, what time more or less?
Yeah, they're generally speaking, the Saturday hikes are usually at 10 a.m. The Tuesday on the south side, we have a great walk, which we can show you a map of if you want to see that. There's a walk that starts at the Southside Library and goes down on the Arroyo Chamizo towards Swan Park. And I don't know if many of you have been to Swan Park, but these maps are on our website, by the way, if you want to check them out on your own. But we started at the Southside Library, and we just walked through the neighborhood for a couple of blocks, and then we hit the Arroyo Chamizo Trail, and it's just a beautiful trail of open space and views all the way down to the Sandia Mountains. And it's a beautiful, I don't know, it's probably maybe a 3-mile walk all the way down to Swan Park and back.
Nice.
And if you've never been down there and walked on that trail, it's going to really surprise you. It's so beautiful, and there's tons of people that utilize that one. Another one that we do with people is we have a walk that's called Find Water. And many of you may have been up to the top of Canyon Road where the Dale Ball Trail parking lot is. And from there you can get up to the Santa Fe Canyon Preserve. And that's just a really gorgeous walk, especially in these drought-stricken times, because you can walk in this beautiful loop around the old reservoir up there. And, at that side of town, which is way on the east side, kind of up high, there's, you'll start hitting some ponderosa pines and some, just beautiful areas that are just flourishing around where there's water. So that's a really nice one that is owned by the Nature Conservancy, that area up there. And then there's another walk that we love, which we take with our elders. We have a walk with our elders, and that one is on a certain Friday, usually the third or fourth Friday of the month at 10 a.m. And we meet over at the Mary Esther Gonzalez Senior Center, and we walk down the Santa Fe River Trail to Griego Park and back. And that's amazing. Like, a lot of the Brookdale residents come with us. Many of them are on walkers and wheelchairs. And, we're able to, sometimes they like to walk past Griego Park down towards Frenchies. And so sometimes we walk like 2.5, 3 miles round trip with people who haven't really had an opportunity to be outside that much. And they just, it's just great to help people get outside and get some fresh air on this beautiful Santa Fe River Trail. And I think, Judy, you had mentioned that the River Trail had won an award.
It was the 2020 reporter, Best of Reporter. It said the River Trail was the most, put my glasses on, I can't read it, but the evolution of the paved Santa Fe River Trail in the last decade has left people who live and work in the area astounded. And it goes on to say how beautiful it is. And that's the trail. It is. I live right next to it.
It's a great trail, and as you know, people both run, hike, and bike on it. So when
Right.
we're out walking, we make sure to kind of stay over to the right, and our volunteers make sure that everybody's kind of keeping a heads up for the bike traffic. But I think what this program is really sort of unfolding for people is that there are a lot of hidden areas to walk in Santa Fe. One of our walks is going to be find a new path, and we're going to go down the river trail off of Rabbit Road.
Oh,
So that'll be fun. If people have never been on Rabbit Trail trailhead over there. We're going to hopefully do a big Walktoberfest with AARP in October. It's going to be really
yeah.
fun. And at the end of October, we're going to actually provide some transportation to get out to the Pecos National Monument and go take a walk on one of their beautiful trails down to the river. So there's just a lot of, wonderful new trails to check out. And if you look on our website at sfct.org/Vamonos, you'll see a whole bunch of walks, some of which you can ride your bike on, some of which you can go, by yourself if you want to. But we really want people to come with us on our Vamonos walks, which the first one will start on May 18th.
Sarah, have you been on all the walks? Sounds like you know them all.
Yes, and I want to say this. Because I'm so sedentary.
It doesn't look like that. It doesn't sound
Well,
like
like when we were kind of scoping out the walks and trying to figure out, I was like, oh my God, it's like hard on me, but hard on my knees. My knees are kind of bad and stuff. But really, after taking a couple of walks, you start loosening up. It's great. You start feeling good. And that's the point, is to just see that getting out in nature is good for you. It calms you down, it lowers your blood pressure, it's fun to talk to people, and then you just get your body moving and it feels so much better. So don't feel like these are going to be like, difficult walks, particularly on our schedule, which you can find at sfct.org/Vamonos. Yeah, you can bring dogs, by the way, if they're on the leash and you have your poop bag. We kind of tell you if it's a little more challenging, but they're kind of moderate hikes, basically moderate walks, and we don't. Everybody can go their own speed. It's not a competition, so don't be afraid.
Oh, that's great. Well, that's really, thanks. That's you gave us a really good description. Now I want to go on the walks really badly.
And I will add, some of them are bilingual. So if you want to try out your Spanish,
Cool.
we have La Familia's community health workers bring a lot of people from the South Side, Spanish speakers. And those are really fun. And even if you can't speak Spanish, they're still really fun. And so I just really hope that people will come and grab the schedule off our website and come join us, because it's going to be a good walking, outing. Finally, after the pandemic, we can kind of get together.
Yeah, the beginning of the beginning of the beginning. So we kind of need to start to wrap up, but we want to show a short film from your organization about the Vamonos Walk program from the 2019 season. Beautiful little video. As you said, 2020 was canceled because of you know what, and we're starting in 2021 with the COVID precautions. While AARP is not sponsoring in-person activities at this time, we encourage you to check on all of what Sarah was talking about, and we'll resume our volunteering with Vamonos when the COVID restrictions allow. And then I'm just going to say a caveat about almost anybody can safely take up walking. And light to moderate exercise is usually fine for healthy adults with no troublesome symptoms. But do you need to talk to your doctor before taking on more strenuous regimen? It's wise to talk to a doctor if you have any questions about your health or plan to start more vigorous workouts, especially if you haven't been active recently, but sounds from, like Sarah said, these would be very wonderful excursions for most of us. So let's watch the video and then.
Yeah, the video is from one of our elder walks.
Really beautiful.
It's so important to support conservation for so many reasons. We want to conserve the physical land, the physical beauty, the physical resources, but we want to have those resources so that the community can enjoy them. Our use of these conserved lands benefits our overall health, our overall happiness. It just makes our community better.
The South Side walks start at the South Side Library and go to Swan Park. It involves the people from the South Side more. So we had families and people pushing baby carriages and elderly people. It was very, very community building.
What we found out about when we started this walk is that the majority of the moms didn't really feel safe walking alone. So being that we were, in a group and we started like building a community around it, it was nice. That brought them more comfortably to walk and bring their kids out. That was nice because, some people doesn't do it just because they don't want to do it alone.
Once some people come on the walk, they enjoy it so much they keep coming back. And so you develop relationships with the walkers and the volunteers, and it makes me feel good to be able to be with those people. And sometimes my group just stops and sits down and waits for the group to go out and come back.
We are proud supporters of Santa Fe Conservation Trust and the Vamonos program. We definitely love the program, and we look forward to it every year. Our residents look forward to it every year. One of my favorite times on the walk was we had a husband and wife, and she's on a wheelchair and he's walking and he's pushing her. They're walking, they're going down the hill, and he's having a little hard time trying to keep her steady going down the hill. So I came along and I told him that I would, take her and continue to push her. So I pushed her all the way down, and we came back up to the hill to push her up. And he was just so happy that I was there to help him, and so happy that he was able to enjoy with his wife. So being out in the trees and being out in nature just really brought joy to him. And, he's no longer with us, but that moment for me was the biggest thing, seeing the joy in each resident's face, that they're able to accomplish being out there and walking, something that they haven't done in years because they haven't had the opportunity to. That's what Vamonos brings to the plate. That's what Vamonos does for our seniors, and that's why we just love being a partner with them.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's a beautiful video.
Yeah, and it really captures, the beauty of walking together. It's really just nice to be together outside on a trail. So I'm hoping everybody will join us. And that river trail from Alto Park down to Griego Park was what the elders were walking on. So that's what you saw there from Bicentennial Pool down to the west.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Sarah. Beautiful.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you, AARP, for having me on.
Right.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah. So thanks everybody for joining us. And you can visit the website aarp.org/nm for upcoming events as it's showing here. And what fun to do this program. Thanks very much for all the help. That's great. Anything else, Sarah? One last hello, goodbye?
No, but I just want to thank everybody for supporting protecting land trails, skies, and outings here in the local area. So thanks a lot for having me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's wonderful. And I think we can say that we're finished with what we have to say. It still looks like I'm live, but